software company called Datalytics, and it brought a capability that was similar to Noetics for the reporting and analytics, but targeted more at J.D. Edwards and PeopleSoft. So that kind of consolidated the Magnitude positioning around reporting and analytics for all three of those Oracle legacy sort of ERP environments. And then more recently, subsequent for sure, from my departure from Magnitude, there was the acquisition of Every Angle, which not exactly the same in capabilities as the other two, but similar in that there is a pre-built data warehouse with some views and analytics for SAP. So that sort of, in a way, describes the overall functional capabilities of Magnitude's offerings in all those ERP environments, touches on a little bit of the competitive landscape. And what I didn't point out, but which I should, is that Oracle and SAP, which are, I think you would agree, are the two largest ERP providers for mid to large enterprise, sort of like G2K type of companies, they're very content allowing sort of the ISV market, the independent software vendors, to go and do this kind of work. You know, for years, Noetics would always do well in Gartner type reports around operational reporting, but Oracle would always want to have an offering in the mix. I don't remember exactly which Gartner report came about maybe 3 or so years ago, but Oracle actually withdrew and just didn't even have an offering. And they're quite content allowing, you know, independent software vendors to cover all this space. And in fact, that's become kind of a key investment thesis for Magnitude, is that there are many venture-backed software vendors that have provided a unique value proposition around topics like what we're just discussing here, or application management, where you're actually operating an application through a tool like Excel. They do things that neither Oracle nor SAP do directly, but they fill a void in the market. So investors are happy to see whether or not the companies can really to grow to scale. But I think what Magnitude is fairly understood is that, you know, a lot of these companies, they think, oh, well, we're going to get taken out by SAP or Oracle or someone, and we're going to invest and spend that money and grow. And then they get to a point where they're no longer really investable. They haven't really found a strategic exit. They're not growing at the rates that they probably should be to get a strategic exit, and they haven't quite taken the medicine that they should be harvesting and at least trying to generate a lot of EBITDA and cash flow. They're still sort of running as if they're going to hit their growth curve. And so they kind of get orphaned in a way. You know, they're kind of subscale. They're $5 to $25, $30, $40 million of revenue. So it may be a decent business. They could be generating 0 to high single digits of EBITDA. So better than a poke in the eye, but not necessarily exciting. And Magnitude can go out and stay within its investment thesis of enterprise information management, stay within its swim lanes or subsegments like reporting, MDM, product information management, application data management, and look for these opportunities and then say, okay, well, we'll pro forma these things. We'll take out a lot of extra costs. We'll make them EBITDA, the characteristics much more EBITDA attractive. And then we'll, over time, look to leverage some of the assets, i.e. the technology software assets, to build some interesting organic new offerings out of this collection of software technologies that we acquire. And I think that's kind of where the company is right now.
Looking across, these products that you just walked through, and
yep.
and we can focus on, I guess to start on operational analytics and MDM. Thinking about the magnitude products you discussed, as well as, again, the kind of the very top competing products, which of these products are most at risk as Oracle, the Oracle installed base, perhaps very slowly, likely very slowly, but they eventually move to Fusion, and then SAP, again, very slowly moves to S4?
So I don't think there's nearly the risk in the SAP environment. But again, in the Oracle environment where, these are mid to large enterprise companies that purchased Oracle E-Business Suite, JD Edwards, 10, 20 years ago. And, it may be all they need for a long period of time. It very well, may be that case. And they add third-party technology around it to keep it functionally sound for the indefinite future. But, to the extent that there are smarter, better researched perspectives than what I'm offering to you, mine is anecdotal from just working within that company and that customer base for the time that I was there. I was amazed at how sticky they were. I mean, we wouldn't even hear that any of the customers were contemplating a shift, because if they were part of a very large enterprise, they would say, no, my objective in IT is to just get data coming from those two-tier type of ERP environments like EBS, et cetera, and getting that data into SAP to improve the speed of my financial close, or to do operational reporting against that, so that I knew that I had good consolidated data across different ERP platforms. That was something that I heard. But, I think it's very fair to say that Oracle is not selling those three applications as net new solutions. I mean, if you were to go into Oracle and say, I don't have an ERP, or I'm coming off of Microsoft or Infor, and I want one, they're not going to sell you those three. So there is really no net new deployments of those, but they have been extraordinarily sticky, and now there seems to be a relatively long tail of coexistence in environments that are using SAP or Oracle as their flagship ERP. In the context of SAP, I mean, the movement to S4 is pretty. I think SAP's perspective is we are going to try to switch and upsell users on older versions of SAP more aggressively than Oracle's. Oracle's been a little bit more laissez-faire. I mean, they won't sell those heritage apps to new customers, but SAP has been much more aggressive, I think, at trying to migrate to S4 and HANA for sure.